Tell me, do you as a gamer like tight gameplay? Do you like to bash your enemies into oblivion? Do you like a challenge? And do you like arcade games? Well, it's me, brossji, and today I might just have the game for you. Today we're looking at a little lesser known game known as Mr. Shifty. It's a top-down arcade style game with an emphasis on tight combat. And that fact might put some people off, but that's fine, because you're allowed to like whatever you want. And remember that everything I say today will be nothing more than my opinion, and is in no way set in stone. With that being said, the story starts with some explosions, and our character, who is named Mr. Shifty, like the name of the game, runs onto screen. Immediately we learn how to use our power, which is to teleport a few feet to where our cursor is facing, and we can do this up to 5 times in a row before the ability has to go on cooldown for a while. Combine this with our other ability, which is to punch, and we have ourselves the formula for becoming an absolute killing machine. In the first few moments, we are introduced to the character Nyx, who was mostly there to tell us our objectives and to dump exposition. Sometimes she'll say a few jokes sprinkled in for fun, but it's really just dry humor. And in this beginning area, we make really short work of the enemies, so I feel like now would be a good time to mention that most objects in this game, including some walls, are destructible, which means now, the story is nothing really special, but that's fine for a game like this. The only reason anyone would want to play this game is for the gameplay loop. It is very satisfying to find the way to progress through the level, teleporting from person to person, beating the absolute crap out of every person in your path. And as you progress through the levels, enemies become more challenging, and so does their placements. And just a warning for everyone that going beyond this point in the video means that you will see spoilers. We, the player, have been sent here to steal a very dangerous device known as the Mega Plutonium from the evil Chairman Stone. It is a very powerful device that, in the wrong hands, could cause great harm. You know, nothing we haven't heard before. And while being guided by Nyx, we fight our way through various floors of the building and come across the Mega Plutonium. But as it turns out, this device was simply a trap and was a fake that is a bomb designed to kill us. So instead of continuing our search for the device, Nyx wants us to find Chairman Stone and just kill him outright. And soon we get contacted by the chairman himself, and he is impressed with us, saying that he likes our abilities and offers for us to join his side. We, of course, refuse. Then as we get into an elevator, Mr. Shifty gets knocked out by some toxic gas, as the chairman is telling us that we should have accepted his offer. We wake up in a prison, and then there's some sort of device that prevents us from teleporting. How can we escape this, you know? Our one gimmick of teleporting has been taken away from us. I guess this must be the end of the game, huh? Nah, I was just kidding. We do what we do best and punch our way out of this situation. Literally, punching our way through the wall of the cell. And once we escape the prison, we fight our way to the surface where we encounter Stone, who dies like an absolute moronic buffoon. Dying in his own trap he set out for us. You know, for a mob boss, it's kind of funny how he dies like a cartoon character. But wait, just shortly after that it's revealed that he survived by teleporting away at the last second. Wait, teleporting? How did he do that? Well, while you were knocked out by the gas, Chairman Stone studied your power and built a machine that can teleport anything, anywhere, at any time. And lo and behold, that machine is powered by the Mega Plutonium that we were originally sent to steal from him. Funny. So now we must find and destroy this teleportation device. As we fight our way through the areas, Stone can now teleport entire squads to kill you at a moment's notice. It's a nice way to throw more obstacles at the player without making the levels too big for the setting. When we get to the floor with the teleportation device, we must fight our way through 4 separate areas and find 4 computer terminals that each shut down a part of a series of lasers that surround the device. And then once we destroy the device, it starts going haywire and teleporting random things randomly. Now this part of the game suddenly becomes very difficult as we fight our way to confront Stone. Complete parts of other rooms and the building get teleported into our path, along with a salute of enemies. Sometimes, however, the enemies are already dead when they teleport in. And eventually, we make it all the way to Stone, who says that one of us will suffer a spectacular death. He unleashes a barrage of bullets from 2 machine guns, and we teleport them between the bullets fast enough to go right up to him and punch him straight through the window on the top floor of the building. And as he falls, credits start to roll, bringing an end to the few hours that is this game. Like I said before, the story is nothing special. Now let's move on to what makes the game really interesting. The gameplay.
Boy, I sure love going to Mega Plutonium. What the?
The ability to teleport is what drives the gameplay forward. As mentioned before, you can teleport 5 times in a row, and after a few seconds, a teleportation tick will recharge. But if you deplete all 5 ticks before another one can recharge, then Mr. Shifty will audibly make like an exhaling noise, and then you will have to wait a longer period of time without being able to teleport at all. And after this short period of time, all 5 teleport ticks will recharge at once. And Mr. Shifty is very fragile, because a single hit from anything, be it a bullet or a punch, he will die on the spot, right there, dead. But there is a safety net for the player. If you feel the gauge at the bottom of your screen by punching a bunch of people and killing them, and a bullet is about to hit you, then time will slow down and your teleports will fully recharge, allowing you to either escape danger or take enemies out in slow motion. Now, in my opinion, most of the satisfaction of this game comes from learning how to deal with the various enemies despite your fragile health. The first enemy type you encounter will be the simple pistol guy. They are slow to aim and slow to fire, making them easy to dodge even without teleporting. Then there's the brute who has no gun at all and will rush you down in hopes of punching you. After these 2 enemies, the player will start encountering the shotgun and assault rifle guys who act pretty much the same way. The only difference being one has an assault rifle and fires multiple times, and the other guy having a shotgun that shoots in a little cone area. And they both have lightning fast reflexes and are quick to shoot in your direction. These enemies will make up the bulk of the forces that the player will be fighting against, but to mix things up, Stone has several elite forces that he does occasionally send against you. The first of which is the ninjas, who will approach you and pause, suddenly lunging forward to kill you with their sword club thing. Then there's the rocket launcher guys who fire a rocket at you, although this, more often than not, just kills themselves and their allies. There are also the rangers, who are quick on their feet and wield 2 pistols, and when you hit them, they'll jump a distance back away from you, meaning you have to teleport to keep up to them to hit them enough to kill them. And finally, there are Stone's accountants, who have an auto shotgun. They are quicker to aim and shoot than the regular shotgun guys, and they also fire 3 to 4 times in a row, ensuring that they destroy whatever cover is in the direction they're shooting. All enemies will die in 2 or 3 hits, meaning it's not hard to take out an enemy individually, but with their quick reaction times and numbers, it becomes challenging rather quickly. The player will fight more than just human enemies as well. There are also automated turrets that either fire machine guns or fire rockets. These are invincible unless hit with a rocket, and apart from turrets, there are lasers that will be moving along some walls, and the player either has to traverse these like a puzzle or find a way to disable them in the level. As the player goes through the levels, they will find various weapons, sometimes something swingable like a board or a pipe, and these swingable weapons will one-shot any enemy that's in its swinging radius, but will break after hitting someone 2 or 3 times. There are also throwable weapons, like bugs and keyboards, that will give the player the range to one-shot any enemy that it hits, but it will immediately break upon impact. And there are a couple unique invincible weapons for the player, but these can't be brought between areas. Another cool thing the player can do in combat is use doors to their advantage. More specifically, if an enemy is behind a door, the player can punch the door and send it flying a short distance. If it hits an enemy, they will die. Sometimes the player can guide the enemies into laser traps, either by reactivating them or guiding enemies into them. When you first enter an area, guards will not know where you are, and will have set patrols or stations that they stick to. But if you make a noise in a room, or do anything to alert the guards, then they will know where you are always and run to your location. This game can get really difficult, especially in the second half of the game. I personally got stuck in the last level for a while before lasting long enough to move on. In my playthrough for the game, I did encounter some glitches. Most of the time they were harmless things that briefly messed with the ragdolls or the physics of the enemies. In my opinion, this type of glitch does not affect the game at all, and I can't really speak for everyone, but I find it absolutely hilarious when a ragdoll glitches out and gets stuck in a wall or does something like a little dance. Although, with that being said, I did have the game crash outright one time in my playthrough, so if that kind of thing puts you off, then keep that in mind before you play. To briefly reiterate, this game is a top-down beat-em-up game that would feel right at home in an arcade. The story is basic, with characters that are as deep as a shallow puddle on the sidewalk, and the tight gameplay and combat is what draws players in. However, the difficulty spike towards the end of the game, combined with the lack of story, most players will not finish this game, and the Steam achievement you get for beating the final level reflects this, with only 17.3% of players actually making it this far. It would be fair to call this game a one-trick pony, and while it does do this trick well enough, it's not enough to keep players around for the whole ride. All the levels are linear, so those two facts hurt replayability. But don't let that stop you from checking out this game, as the combat is really well done and has some unique mechanics to its name, so if you find it for sale, go ahead and get it. All in all, I'd give Mr. Shifty the following scores. Thank you all for watching this video, and I really hope I see you next time.